Hello, Blab and YouTube audience. We are live with Jamie's Sideline Podcast. For the best damn sports coverage out there, keep it to Jamie's Sideline Podcast for all your sports news. Today, we got a full plate of sports news, including one congressman wants an examination of fantasy sports as he feels that it's gambling. Roger Goodell's response to it coming up. Let's get to our first article, though, which is Texas Rangers tweet the Texas Longhorns football coach Charlie Strong after his blowout loss against TCU on Saturday. Let's get to that article. That article comes to us from sportsnews.com. Texas Rangers fire Charlie Strong during Longhorns blowout against TCU. Texas coach Charlie Long is losing supporters by this week in the Lone Star State. Now it appears that the disapproval has reached a competitive level. During the Longhorns' latest, most embarrassing blowout of the season against TCU, they lost 50-7. Number four state TCU. During the game, a representative that runs the Texas Rangers official Twitter account made their disapproval of the second-year head coach known on Twitter by tweeting this: "Fire Charlie, #bye." The Texas Rangers, their own team in the state of Texas, is ridiculing them. Their own team is ridiculing the college football coach. Are you kidding me? I mean, we know it was a blowout loss, but are you kidding me? It's just like when your own team is ridiculing you. Like, seriously, when your own team, whether it's baseball, basketball, whatever, is ridiculing you in your own town, we gotta reconsider who's running that Twitter page, in my opinion, because every team loses. I mean, it's a blowout loss. It's one of Texas Longhorns' most embarrassing moments of the season. But we gotta reconsider. We gotta stop acting like 5-year-olds, because every team loses. We get that it's a embarrassing loss, but I mean, seriously. Let's get somebody in here. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to the seat here. Sorry, lawyer, for keeping you waiting. My wonderful co-host Lori is joining me. Lee, if you want to jump in the seat as well, that'd be good. Sorry about that. I was keeping you waiting because I was getting to my first article of the night, so sorry about that. Do you have sound, Lori?
Do I have sound?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Yes, I was just being quiet, letting you carry the broadcast. I'm just the sidekick.
Alright, so next story I wanted to get to. Congressman calls for examination of fantasy sports as gambling. Let's see what this is all about. This is crazy. I don't get this, but after being bombed by fantasy football advertisements during this season's opening weekend, U.S. Representative Frank Pauley Jr. issued an official statement for fantasy sports legal status should be examined as gambling. A longtime advocate of legalized and registered sports betting. He's a longtime advocate for that, but he doesn't feel that fantasy sports are illegal in his opinion. They feel like they're unlegalized gambling. He says all of a sudden leagues or the teams own all of the significant interest. All these fantasy leagues are a waste of time, just free things people paid and got a little prize, not even money. Now it's a billion-dollar industry with multi-million dollar jackpots and huge winnings. So this congressman thinks that fantasy sports are unauthorized and unlawful gambling acts. So I want to get to the comments here. I'll post the article down in the description so you can read it for yourself. But I want to get to some opinions here, so feel free to post your opinions or jump in the video seat. I'm going to go back to the blab window. Lori, how do you feel about this? Because you seem like you were chomping at the bit to say something earlier.
I normally stay out of. I'm really, Jamie. Only for you will I start a political conversation because.
It's not really like political because it's a congressman saying something about fantasy sport. It's kind of political. It's on the political side.
Let's start there. What are fantasy sports?
Fantasy sports basically are websites like DraftKings and stuff like that where you can pick your players and you can be like, okay, well, this player did well last week, so I'm picking him this week. And depending on how good the players do, you get a certain amount of points. And at the end of the season, or in the case of DraftKings, it's 1 week fantasy football. So you get to pick a different team every week. And there's all kinds of different fantasy sports. There's fantasy basketball. There's fantasy football. So basically, it's at the end of the season, or in cases of places like DraftKings, at the end of 1 week, depending on how your players do, you get huge cash payouts. I mean, DraftKings, the millionaire maker, or whatever it says. So
let me see if I can get this straight. It's your guesstimate on who will play better. You're taking teams from or players from other teams, but you're conglomerate, and then you are paying someone like a bet.
Yep.
Just like a race track, what's the difference between that and race horses? Other than the fact that the race track is regulated, this is not. I live where we've got floating casinos on the Mississippi River. It's just hasn't been regulated yet. In my opinion, it will be.
So you're saying this is legal, or how are you saying? No.
I'm saying it is currently legal. However, it will be changed.
It will be changed. In my opinion, this is strictly my opinion. Fantasy sports, to me, are not you used to be able to play online poker and get paid from online poker. Most states, including Arizona, and basically all 50 states, do not let you get paid for online poker or any gambling like that. So, Lori, I think we lost connection, or you were getting some type of echo. I don't know if that's on my end or your end, but the joys of running a podcast. So give me your opinions down in the comments. Are fantasy sports legal? Should they be legal? What is your opinion on fantasy sports? Let's get to the comments, because one congressman says they're not, and then we'll get to Roger Goodell's response to those comments. Lori's back. I don't know if that was an echo on my end or your end or how that was going, but the joys of technical stuff in podcasts.
I have no idea what happened. All of a sudden, the window was gone.
All right, so that was just a glitch on your end. I'm glad that wasn't on my end.
I don't think it was on your end.
All right, so your opinion is that it should be legal. It shouldn't be. How's your opinion after hearing what fantasy sports are? Because most people don't know of fantasy sports.
It's going to be interesting to see how the legislatures legislate this. How they come to terms with how and what is legal. And I think that whole it's the gaming commission. It's a whole set of rules and laws that we don't necessarily understand. So ideally, it should remain and it should be regulated. But I do have a fear that there will be people out there who try and get it banned.
So now I want to get to. I think it's my side because it keeps echoing, but I don't know. The NFL. I want to get to Roger Goodell's response because I think I'll say it once, and I've said it 1,000 times on the show. If you aren't even a football fan, you know that Roger Goodell's in the news a ton. Okay? Roger Goodell is in the news a ton because he makes some of the worst statements and the worst decisions in any sports commissioner's history. I believe that. And even if you aren't a sports fan, you would tend to agree. Roger Goodell suspends Ray Rice for game and then lets him off early, but he abused his now fiance. You saw the tape. You know the NFL saw the tape before they said they didn't see the tape. You know that was going on. It's not been proven, and I'm not some CIA investigator by no means, but I do understand that Roger Goodell has made some horrible decisions, with the most recent one being Tom Brady, and now Greg Hardy, Panthers player, is going to face some time off the field after it's come out that he has punched his girlfriend.
Not a good thing.
With his kids watching too. So domestic violence, kids, yay. So Roger Goodell's statement to this whole gambling thing is simple. Or not simple, it's actually a pretty long and heavily worded statement, but I won't read the whole thing because it's gonna just blow your mind and probably confuse you. In daily fantasy, it's hard to see the influence that it could have on an outcome of a game, Goodell said, because individual players picking different players on different teams and matching them up against other ones. You might call it that, and it's just not based on the outcome of a game. Which is our biggest outcome is, he says, our biggest outcome is with sports betting.
Hey, we have a comment over here on the fantasy football.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. John, and actually this is our other co-host if you want to let him in.
I'll let him. I think I made you co-host, didn't I?
John, oh, did you? I didn't notice. No, I'm not.
Oh, I should go ahead and do that.
And John, take a seat.
John, please take a seat.
He'll be in a bit. Give him a few minutes. Make me co-host.
I'm gonna make Lori. What was I doing? Making you co-host? Cool.
So that I can handle the things.
All right, cool. I'm sorry I forgot to do that. I was running the show and I was making sure everything was good, and then
That's all. But what I'll do is,
Oh, the
we'll just hold
joys.
this quote then, and he can give it himself. We can go back to the fantasy football.
All right, now I made you co-host, so now you can
Handle
all the comments.
Yeah.
Our co-host in our Week 4 preview, NFL preview, huge Redskins fan, John has a comment in the sidebar. He says, "Here, why don't you go ahead and read that comment for me, and then I'll get back to this article."
The major sports leagues have stakes in each of the daily fantasy leagues. So with the developments yesterday, leagues may pull out and daily fantasy could be gone, aka no major sports league support and regulation that is tougher than gambling. And he said he'd be in a bit.
Okay. So Roger Goodell's response is that it's not gambling because it's hard to determine the outcome of the game. When he goes on to say that it's hard to determine the outcome of a game because it's not based on the outcome, it's based on how well the players play. So Congressman I forget what I said his name was, but Congressman shouldn't be worried about it because it doesn't make sense for him to be worried. He goes on to say that politicians continue to be that way, but we recognize some states consider it legal, some don't. We'll follow the law and make sure we do. The article goes on to say that New Jersey recognizes fantasy sports, but the NFL is one of the major sports leagues that the governor thought efforts to eliminate one of those major sports leagues, which is the NFL. He wants to make it illegal illegal for NFL to be betted on in New Jersey. It's getting a lot of people stirred up with this whole thing, and I'm sure a lot of people have some opinions on it. So if you want to jump in, the seat is always open. But I'll tell you this, okay? Roger Goodell, I don't know. Like, without going, because I could go on a whole half an hour rant on Roger Goodell, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, we can do ranting and raving.
Roger Goodell is and will be considered, and already is considered, in my opinion, the worst sports commissioner in history. Not just in the NFL, in history. He's made some horrible decisions. He brought back a guy who abused his kid. He let the guy go who punched his wife and drug her by her hair out of an elevator. He let him go early, even though he's never going to play in the league again. But you know what I'm saying. It wasn't right for the suspension. The suspension should have been what it should have been. Then we had Greg Hardy incident where he punched his wife. So it's like, what can we do next? So we can tell Roger Goodell that fantasy sports are not legal, or not fantasy sports, but NFL fantasy sports are not legal in New Jersey because a congressman feels that way. So John, welcome. Welcome.
It's okay.
I know you have a very probably strong opinion, so just fire away.
I mean, Roger isn't awful if you think about it. Over his whole span as commissioner, he hasn't been that bad. Because if you look at what he's done, he's expanded the game internationally, and he's done so many great things for the league that as a marketing tool, he's made the NFL something unbelievable. Yeah, he's made some bad decisions with his power, but that's because it was collectively bargained and negotiated between him and the players. So that's really where people start hating Roger Goodell, is because he has all that power, but the players gave him that power. So yeah, I don't like Roger Goodell either, but the players have to take some kind of blame for it because they're the ones that gave him the power in the last collective bargaining agreement.
Wouldn't you agree, though? Because many players have come out, and I know you're saying it's mostly the players' fault, but you can't place all the blame on the players. Most players, including my man James Harrison of the Pittsburgh Steelers, have come out and said that they want to file legal action. They want to go as far as to question Roger Goodell's spot as commissioner. So with this whole Tom Brady thing and this Ray Rice thing and the Adrian Peterson thing, and now this whole NFL gambling not legal in New Jersey, like, what's going to come of this?
Well, I mean, Roger should get fired, but he can't get fired because he's owed $44 million over the next year. So you either have to pay him right now, pay him the 44 straight up, or you have to pay him over the next year and a half. Might as well stick with him for a year and a half and then try and find a new commissioner, rather than fire him after this season and have to just pay him all of his money.
Okay. So, what's your opinion on this whole congressman thing? Do you think he's taking fantasy sports out of proportion? Now that you're in a video seat, you probably can type more or say more than you can type. So, I want your opinion on that. We got a little taste of it, but that was only in the comments, and you can only type so much.
I know. I was trying to keep it short and concise, but I don't know if I did a good job. No, see, Jamie, what I think about that is that all of these sports leagues, Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, they all have a paying stake in these daily leagues. Because if you watch an NFL game on Sunday, what commercial do you see every time they go to timeout?
DraftKings.
Exactly. So they have a stake in that. Now with insider trading, it becomes what the stock market has been in the past. So you can compare it to the real world and to things that have happened on Wall Street. And so that's why they're going to regulate it now. It's going to happen. And then you have the leagues, which support them right now. And yeah, Roger Goodell has to come out and say that he agrees with them. That's because the NFL pays to have a stake in DraftKings.
Yeah.
So with them paying, he has to show support for them. But I think in about 2 years max, I think they'll be gone.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have support of the major leagues and you have all this regulation and all these taxes and fees and whatnot, because it's going to be considered gambling, and they're going to take it the next step because of insider trading.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They do have the support of people or major sports leagues such as MLB and UFC and all that. So maybe they can save it for a couple more years. But I would tend to agree with you. I think, without making this a political show, because I can do a political show. I'm 14, yes. But I have an opinion on everything.
You can, and your opinion is popular, but
but not right now. Not right now.
But we gotta find another co-host.
Yeah, not with us.
But here's the thing. I think that our legal system in America, the people we vote into representatives, they're just there for their own agenda. They're not there. I mean, we have a lot of supporters of these sites, and I think these guys just take it way too much out of proportion. Like there's some things where it's like, okay, get angry, get fired up about that. That's wrong. But then there's some things where it's just like, are we really speaking about this right now? Like when there's more issues going on than fantasy DraftKings is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, yeah, there's always bigger and better things, but again, congressmen love the hot topics of the day. They don't care about what they need to do to fix this country. Whatever's the hot button topic of the day or of the week, that's the thing they're going to talk about and want to start reforming rather than the actual country itself. But that's all I'll say about politics.
All right. So
let's move on back to sports.
Let's get on to something that I don't have an article for, but hey, when you're running my show, we don't need articles. I usually get articles, but we don't need articles for this.
That's right.
So it is announced that owners of a lot of the teams are meeting in New York today. That's where the statement came out of about the whole gambling thing with Roger Goodell. But also discussed in that meeting, one team is moving to LA. Excited, yay, nay, who, where, when, how?
I'll let you go first because I don't know.
Okay. Well, Jamie, this meeting has been scheduled. They do at least 2 of these per season. They do one before the season. They do one during the season. And they do one after the season. So the owners meet 3 times. This one, they got presentations from all 3 teams trying to move to LA. But the Chargers and the Raiders are trying to go together. So there were 2 different offers on the table, and they were talking back and forth, giving proposals. But you have to get 66% of the 29 other owners to vote on it. But it's related back to politics, because the owner of the Rams has got enough votes to block the other 2 teams from moving. And the owner for the Chargers has enough votes to block the Rams from going to LA. So it's getting crazy.
Excited LA football.
Oh, no.
So is anybody going to be able to move to LA?
Yeah, eventually. It's going to happen. It's just right now they're not, because they're all fighting and they're like old men in a room, so they're picking their sides and they're going. Exactly. Because
there's another sports podcast. I want to shout it out real quick. Sports World Radio. I don't know if you've tuned into them,
but
we were talking about this, and they said no, they're not excited. Who's gonna go to LA for a football game? You know, they haven't had it for so long. Who cares? So this is my show, and I ask the questions. I give the opinions, and you guys do too. So, opinions, yay, nay, excited.
Well, it's the number 2 market in the United States, so I think it's going to work. People are going to go no matter what. It's football. People love football. Even if you're not a fan of the teams, people love watching people get hit.
Football is is the true American pastime.
Not to be confused with football, which we don't cover on this show.
Oh,
you don't want to talk about Ronaldo and Ronaldinho and.
Sorry, international audience. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
What about Drogba? You want to talk about Drogba?
No.
Okay.
You can start your own podcast.
You took a very strong political statement on that one.
you can start your own podcast and talk about all the foosball you want, but
all right.
You are hurting me here. I have friends.
I'm sorry, but it's just like, without going into too much, I feel like FIFA is the most corrupt organization in the world. They are so corrupt. It is so bad.
Yeah, but it's getting better.
It's really bad.
It's going to get better.
It's getting better, and when it does get better, I will have a little bit more respect for soccer. Okay?
To be honest, Jamie, the only time I watch it is when the U.S. are playing. When the U.S. national team is playing, that's the only time I watch.
World Cup. Yep. Mm-hmm. So back to American football here. Yay, nay, excited? You didn't really say yay or nay.
No, I said I was excited. I'm excited because I won it, and it's going to be fun.
Who do you think?
I think it's going to be the Chargers and the Rams in Inglewood, California, because the Rams already own the property. The Rams owner already owns the property. The Chargers could slide right in as well, and it would be a match made in heaven.
Yep.
If I lived in LA, I'd go every week. I would go every week.
And the thing that Mr. Furcon brought up, huge Raiders fan, says that if the Raiders can support a football team basically in Oakland, which is considered the ghetto besides Compton in California, then the Rams or either one of these teams can support a football team as well.
Yeah, exactly. But
So,
I think the Raiders lose a little bit of their mystique if they move to LA, because when you think of the Raiders, you think of the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, people know the LA Raiders, but the LA Raiders weren't the Raiders.
Yep. They weren't the black hole and all those crazy guys. Okay. Also, I wanted to bring up, if you guys are baseball fans, I wanted to bring up the wild card tonight, or is going on right now, actually. Pittsburgh Pirates versus Cubs. Let me check on the score.
Cubs are up 4-0. I have it right here, Jamie. See?
Ooh.
I have it right here.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, let's go Cubs.
I was gonna say, Illinois.
So, the Cubs,
but a Packers fan.
Cubs are winning. Okay, so obviously we probably will see the Cubs go on top. I don't know. The Pittsburgh Pirates could mount a comeback, but whoever wins tonight, whoever comes on top at the bottom of the ninth, we'll see. But maybe it'll go into extra innings, but we won't know. But who is moving on and who will stop them if they don't go all the way? Because I don't think Cubs are gonna go all the way if they do win, or Pittsburgh. I'm not expecting it. So, who is gonna be the biggest challenge moving forward? Either team, and who will stop them in the playoffs?
Oh. Jake Arrieta just got hit with a pitch.
Oh.
Ooh.
I want to see if I can. Let's see if I can do this right. See? Everyone's having a happy party. You know? Jake Arrieta got hit. Now everyone's just having fun and talking and having some fun.
We can't show much because I'm posting this on YouTube, so
Nope, it's done now.
But as you can see, they were just having a hug fest.
Yeah.
No,
but Jamie, to answer your question, who do I think is going to be the biggest challenger to the Cubs, or who's the biggest challenger to who?
Who's the biggest challenger to whoever moves forward, the Bucks or the Cubs?
The Cubs have a better chance because they've had better pitching all year. And they have the young guys that can do it. Rizzo looks amazing. Soler looks good. Montero looks good. Dexter Fowler looks good. But they're going to run into either the Dodgers, the Mets, or the Cardinals. And you got to look Cardinals, Dodgers is the top two over there.
They're just having a hug. That was funny. Yeah, you know what they say, Bucktober, but that's not working out very well right now. So,
no, it's not.
Maybe they'll come back. I don't freaking know. Maybe they'll pull the upset of the wild card and just come back. I hope so, but can't be biased. So, hockey starts tonight. So, who's your team, John, for hockey?
The Capitals. I'm a DC guy.
Man, what is wrong with you and sports teams?
What's wrong with the Capitals? We have Ovechkin.
Blackhawks, man. Hawks. Let's go Hawks.
You're a Blackhawks fan?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago.
I was gonna say, you got me on that one, honey. Although we have a local team down here too.
Who's so Islanders and Hawks are playing tonight. So if somebody would look up the score, then I won't look stupid. I'll look it up myself.
Yeah, I got you. I think they're playing the Rangers though.
They're playing the they're playing the Islanders. So who looks
Blackhawks, Rangers. Rangers are up 3-2.
Ooh.
End of the second.
My dad's not pretty happy right now. He's probably screaming at the TV. So who early predictions? Anyone? Who's going all the way to the cup even though it's first night? I want predictions.
I'm just learning.
Well then,
Caps.
A couple weeks ago, somebody explained the game to me.
I'll go Caps and Detroit.
I'll go
Caps and the Red Wings.
I'll go Hawks Detroit.
Detroit needs a better
and
goalie.
I'll abstain on this one.
I mean, I would pick another Western Conference team, but you know what? No, I'll go Ducks. I'll go Anaheim Ducks.
Ooh, Ducks.
Quack,
Pretty
quack.
good last year. So, any other things that we forgot to cover tonight? Any major
Jamie,
stuff?
I have to talk to you real fast. Remember last week on your preview show for the NFL, and
yes,
you told me that my team was going to lose, and you would let me I could hear
yes.
about it. Jamie, I've been waiting all week for this.
Let me
I
have
want
it.
I want you to let me have it. Please tell me why your Eagles lost to my Redskins.
They're not my Eagles, first of all, because they're not my team. I was
Well,
being
they are your team. They are your team. You were hating so hard on my team. The Eagles are your team.
because you know we have to give a little hate to the Redskins. I mean they're racist. I'm just kidding.
What did we ever do to you? We did nothing to you, Jamie. We did nothing.
You have a crappy sports record.
Hey, we're 2-2, man, and we still have our starting quarterback, and our running back didn't get suspended for
Ooh, he's back now.
illegal substances.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg could tell us different. Snoop Dogg tells us to do it every day. So yeah, I don't know. I wasn't even watching the game, to be honest. The only game I was watching was game I was watching was the Ravens and Steelers game, which didn't go very well.
Yeah, do you wanna sing "Hail to the Redskins" with me, Jamie? Or no?
Fine, I'll say it.
No, we don't have to. No, it's okay. We won't sing the whole thing. It's okay. I don't want people to click out just because they hear the Redskin fight song. But just so you know, Jamie, we're going to go 2-0 against the Birds this year. Eagles, next, Falcons. We're going to beat the Falcons.
By the way, they're a racist team because they have a racist derogatory term for Indian people.
It was a term of endearment back in the 30s. It wouldn't have become that.
I'm just kidding. I'm not PC at all, so I do not understand. Okay, I'm not trying to hate on people who are, but political correctness is not good, and it's stupid. Let people say what they want. Dang it! That's why I have this podcast, because I can say whatever the hell I want when I want, and nobody's gonna stop me because it's the internet. I'm not on radio.
Exactly. No, you are not, and you can say anything you want. Do it, Jamie. Say whatever you want. Speak your mind until they start censoring you.
All right, cool. Well, I might not get sponsors if you want me to go that.
Yeah. Do think along those lines. You do want sponsors.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
So dialing back the rhetoric is a good thing.
Well, anybody else want to jump in the seat and give any opinions on the stories we covered today?
Omar and Michelle, anyone? Omar?
Any?
Maybe?
All right. So I think that is cool. That is coolio. That is just very fine. I think we did a good show today, and hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Appreciate all the support. I think we did a pretty cool show tonight. So, like, comment, subscribe for the YouTube audience and for the Blab audience. I know Zach was hating on me for not doing a Week 5 preview, but it's coming. It's coming, people. It's coming.
Just remember to. I'm going to set up on Twitter, but I set up a three-way so he can just drop in to let us know when he's doing this, so we're not flying.
All right,
around.
cool.
Oh, yeah, please. Send me that message, Jamie or Lori. Please let me know.
Yes. I will set up that he just has to go in.
My NFL Week 4 wrap-up thing, it turned into the blooper reel.
Yes, we just relabeled it the blooper reel, not to be put on YouTube. Just the reel we all look back on and go, oh yeah, that's how we don't do it.
Okay, if you want to see it, go to my YouTube or go to my Blab page.
It's on your Blab replays, and
so go see it, and that's how you don't do a podcast, kids. For all the YouTube audience, check me out, blab.im. Sign in with your Twitter. Really cool website. That's where I do my podcast. So tune in. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Blab. Thank you for all the support. Like, comment, subscribe for the YouTube audience, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.
And thank you for watching.
And thanks for watching the replay. I forgot to mention that. So many things to mention.
We'll get it down.
All right, bye, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.